So in this lesson, we're going to be using trig to figure out how to find the missing angle of a right triangle. So we're going to go through very similar steps that we did in the lesson about finding the missing side, only it's the last step that's going to be different. Okay, so step number one, identify what sides you have. So I'm starting with a highlighter. I'm going across from the right angle to be able to identify that that is the hypotenuse. Now, because we are looking for the angle, that is the reference angle. So I'm starting here where the reference angle is x. I'm going through the middle of the triangle to the opposite side. Okay, so there's step number one, identify the sides. Step number two, select a ratio. I have an opposite, I have a hypotenuse. Which one of the trig ratios uses O and an H? Sine. I like the way you guys are saying it correctly now. So the sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Now I'm going to plug in the values. The sine of angle x is equal to 6 over 10. Now, in order to solve for x, we're going to use the inverse function. It's like taking the square root. Okay? So when we take the inverse, these two things switch places. So the inverse sine of the ratio 6 over 10 is equal to what angle measurement x? Okay, grab your calculator. What you have to do now to do this inverse function is you have to hit the sine button not just once, but you hit it twice. So when I hit it the second time, the -1 appears. Okay? Those of you with Casios, did it work for you? Okay, you have to probably hit the second button in order for yours to come up. All right, so now I'm just going to type in 6 divided by 10, close the parenthesis, hit equal. We want our answers to be rounded to the nearest whole degree. So the answer is going to be 37. Okay, so the calculator says 36.8699. And we're going to round that up to 37 degrees. This is always straightforward like this. There is no like switch them or ups, one is multiplying, one's dividing. It's always this straightforward, which is why I like this better than sides. I think it's easier. Okay, second problem. Draw myself a little bracket right there. So I'm looking across from the right angle, and there's nothing on the hypotenuse, so I'm not going to write the word hypotenuse. I'm not going to confuse us by adding extra vocabulary. I'm going to the reference angle of x. I'm going to move through the middle of the triangle to the opposite side. So 9 is opposite. I'm going back to that reference angle, and I'm quickly going to the side that I can touch to know that that is the adjacent side. Okay, vocabulary words. Opposite, adjacent. Which trig function uses the opposite and the adjacent? The tangent. So, the tangent is O over A. Now, plug in the numbers. The tangent of x is equal to 9 over 10. Okay, so now we're going to have to take the inverse function in order to solve for x. So the tangent to the -1 power of 9 over 10 equals the angle value of x. Okay, so I'm grabbing my calculator. I'm going to hit the tangent button once. I'm going to hit it twice. And now I can put in 9 divided by 10. So 41.98 is going to round up to 42 degrees. William, you good? Okay, third example. I'm starting with the right angle, I'm going across, but I don't see anything on that hypotenuse side, so I'm not going to write the word hypotenuse. I'm coming to the reference angle, going through the middle of the triangle to the side that is 8, to now label that one the opposite side. Go back to that reference angle, quickly turn to the side that you can touch. I now know that 5 is the adjacent side. Okay, just like the problem above this one, opposite adjacent is the tangent. So the tangent of the unknown angle theta, remember I told you the first day that that's the Greek word for an angle measurement, is 8/5, but I want to solve for theta, so I'm going to use the inverse function. So the tangent to the -1 power of 8/5 equals the measurement of the angle theta. Anybody got an answer? 58. Your calculator should help you find the answer of 58 degrees. Okay, so here in the classroom, I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to let you guys try this one on your own. And for the video, I'm just going to pause the video for a couple seconds. Okay, here I go with my steps. Here's the right angle. The side across from that is the hypotenuse. So now I know that 19 is the hypotenuse. The reference angle that we're looking for, x, I'm not going through the middle to the opposite side. I'm quickly turning to the side that I'm touching with that angle to get the adjacent side. So adjacent hypotenuse, that's going to be the cosine. I'm filling in what I know. The cosine of angle x is equal to 14.3/19. But now I need to take that inverse function. So the cosine to the -1 power of 14.3 divided by 19 equals x degrees. And your answer should come out to be 41 degrees. All right. So that's a wrap.